Everything you need to know to visit Disney World in Orlando, Florida. In this video, I'm going to tell you how to get in, how to get around, where to stay, what to eat, and just how to have a great time at Disney World. All right, let's go. The first thing to know is just a little bit of background about Disney World and what makes it unique amongst theme parks around the world. And so this is the second theme park that Walt Disney built. The first one was Disneyland in California, and then Walt said, hey, what if I could get a bunch of land and basically make a Disney city, and you get Disney World. The size and scope of this place is massive. The land here is equivalent to the size of 2 Manhattan Islands from New York City, 27,000 acres compared to Disneyland in California, 510 acres for the whole resort in California. In Disney World, by the numbers, there are 4 theme parks, 2 water parks, 4 golf courses, 30 plus hotels and resorts on the property, and over 400 places to eat. It is truly massive. And so many other theme parks, people like choose a city like Los Angeles and Paris and then say, well, while I'm there, what theme parks can I go to? But it's the other way around at Disney World. Disney World, for many people, is the destination. People come to Disney World and then they say, well, what else can I do in Orlando while I'm at Disney World? The second thing to know is a little bit to help you get oriented to Disney World. It is located just south of the city of Orlando, about 15 miles to the west of Orlando International Airport. And unlike other Disney resorts around the world, the theme parks are really spread out here. And so you won't be walking between really any of them. You'll be taking some method of transport to get you between the theme parks within Disney World. All right, now let's talk about where those theme parks are. Located in the northern part of Disney World is the Magic Kingdom. This is the theme park roughly based on the original Disneyland from California, mostly focused on the kiddos, the fantasy. It's the one that has the castle. Now, if you're going to the Magic Kingdom, the parking, it's not nearby, it's on the other side of a lake, and there's this thing called the Ticketing and Transportation Center that we're going to talk about when we get to the transportation section about how to actually get to the Magic Kingdom, because it's kind of complicated. About 3 miles to the south of the Magic Kingdom is Epcot. This was the second park at Disney World. It probably has the most iconic building at Disney World after the Magic Kingdom. Epcot is more focused on adults, it's more focused on food, and it has a whole bunch of lands that are themed on places around the world. Just to the south of Epcot is Epcot's resort area. That's where I'm standing right now, where there's a bunch of hotels like Disney's Beach Resort, the Boardwalk, the Dolphin and Swan hotels. Super convenient if you're going to Epcot. By the way, there's also a similar resort area connected to the Magic Kingdom. Now, just that way is Disney's Hollywood Studios. This is the theme park. If you're looking for Galaxy's Edge, you're gonna find it there, roughly based on movies and movie magic. And then off to the west is Disney's Animal Kingdom. This is actually my favorite park in Disney World. It is basically an African safari in a theme park. There's not as many rides there as there are in some of these parks, but what's really cool about Animal Kingdom is that Disney did their version of an African safari, complete with real animals. Basically think the Jungle Cruise if it wasn't fake, and there really are real cool animals over in Animal Kingdom. And then off to the east, just by Interstate 4, is Disney Springs. Disney Springs is the shopping mall essentially here at Disney World. It has over 160 restaurants, dining, and entertainment options, and it is definitely worth a visit or two over there. I like to go over there to eat in the night and definitely make at least one afternoon or half day of a shopping trip to Disney Springs when I come to Disney World. If you want to know more about Disney Springs, I've got a whole walking tour of it. You'll find a link in the description in my full Disney World playlist, and a walkthrough of the Disney store there, which is the biggest Disney store in the world. The third thing to know is about getting into Disney World. If you're flying, you're likely going to be coming into Orlando International Airport, code letters MCO. There's other airports around, but Orlando International Airport is the most convenient for coming into Disney World. Now, how do you get in from the airport to the parks? Well, the cheapest way is going to be through the public Orlando Lynx bus, Route 111. $2 is going to get you into the parks. It comes about every 30 minutes, but it's not going to drop you off likely at your hotel. If you want to get dropped off at your hotel, there are 2 companies that offer private shuttle buses, Mears Connect and the Sunshine Flyer. They both are offering the same ticket prices right now at the time of this video, $16 each way from the airport to your hotel, from your hotel back, and they drop off right in front of the hotels. What's the difference? Well, the Sunshine Flyer is the newer company operating this, and they have the cooler looking buses, I have to say. But they both offer pretty similar service. Comfortable buses, they put your luggage underneath, they help take your luggage off the bus, so that's a pretty good way to get into the parks. You can certainly take taxi, Uber, Lyft, rideshare from the airport. The drive-in from the airport is about 30 minutes, assuming there's going to be a little bit of traffic on your way in. You can get a rental car if you want wheels and you're going other places. Orlando is the rental car capital of the world, and so rental cars are quite plentiful. And if you're driving your own car in the Disney World from places perhaps farther north, the I-95 brings you right into the Interstate 4, and the I-95 is the interstate that runs up and down the U.S.'s eastern coast, all the way to the northernmost parts of the US in Maine, so really easy driving into Disney World. The fourth thing to know is about getting around Disney World, and as I've said earlier, this place is so huge, walking really isn't an option in most circumstances, and so you will need to use the resort transportation. One of the coolest ways, I think, to get around is by the Skyliner. This is a gondola that they built here. It connects Epcot to Hollywood Studios and a bunch of the hotels along the way. It is free to ride. You just get on at any one of the hotels, and then you get off at Epcot or you get off at Hollywood Studios. Greetings from on board the Skyliner. The Skyliner has 3 lines. They connect at the Caribbean Beach Resort. So Epcot stops at Riviera, then Caribbean Beach Resort. If you're going to Hollywood Studios, you transfer there, or if you're going to some of the Pop Century resorts, you'll transfer there too. That's the central hub. But even if you don't need to ride, it's fun because they narrate the whole ride and you get to see a whole lot.
All passengers must disembark and
Voice in the sky.
at this station. Thank you.
Oh, and if you want to take pictures or video outside of the cabin, you'll want one of the ones that don't have characters on the outside. If it's not very busy, the cast members are totally happy to take your special request and give you the clear one. You can see the one behind me has characters, but the one I'm in doesn't. Better views out of these. The classic way to get around Disney World is by the monorail. The monorail actually has 3 lines here at Disney World. There's a line that takes you from the Disney Magic Kingdom parking lot into the Magic Kingdom. There's a line that goes around the Magic Kingdom resorts, so that'll take you from the Magic Kingdom to the Grand Floridian, the Contemporary, and Polynesian resorts, and then back to that main parking lot. And then finally, there's a line that takes you from that ticketing and transportation center over to Epcot. Now, that ticketing and transportation center, we should talk about that for a moment. That is the Magic Kingdom's parking lot. It is essentially the transportation hub at Disney World, and people, sure, they used to buy tickets there. Now all those ticket windows are closed because you need to buy them online. But if you see Ticketing and Transportation Center, that's the hub of the monorails. A lot of the resort buses come there, and it's the Magic Kingdom's parking lot. There is no closer parking lot to the Magic Kingdom. If you're driving to the Magic Kingdom, you're parking far away, taking the tram into this Ticketing and Transportation Center, then taking the monorail or a boat into the Magic Kingdom, and then you got to do it all on the reverse. And so actually, if you're staying at Disney properties going to the Magic Kingdom and you're not in one of the Magic Kingdom resorts, I'd highly recommend you actually take one of the Disney buses, because those pick up and drop off at the gate instead of at that Ticketing and Transportation Center. The monorail is free to ride. You don't need tickets to the parks or anything, but you will need to go through a security and bag check to get on the monorail. The Skyliner, the gondola, doesn't require any bag check, so that's nice. It is worth realizing that you cannot connect the Skyliner to the monorail because the monorail at Epcot stops at the front and the Skyliner stops at the back. Another really cool way to get around Disney World is by watercraft. There are boats that go around these waterways. There are 3 boat routes. One is the one at Magic Kingdom. There's actually 2 there. It takes you from the parking lot to the Magic Kingdom, or there are some boats that'll take you around to the different Magic Kingdom resorts. 2, there is the Epcot boat route that'll take you from Epcot around to the different resorts here. And 3, there's a boat route that'll take you from Disney Springs to the hotels around Disney Springs, that shopping area. The boats are also free to ride and no security check to get on the boats. Now, the mode of transportation that's really convenient for Disney resort guests is Disney bus transportation. Disney provides buses from all of the resorts to all of the parks unless they're connected via one of these other methods. So if you're staying at the Magic Kingdom resorts and there's a monorail, there's going to be no bus to get you to the Magic Kingdom. But if you want to get to Animal Kingdom or you want to get to Hollywood Studios, then there's going to be a bus to get you from the hotels to those theme parks. They're really convenient because they pick you up at your hotel, they drop you off at the theme park right in front. What they don't do is they don't go between theme parks, so they are not very convenient if you're trying to do park hopping. Actually, park hopping at Disney World really takes a long time because the parks are really spread out. So I'd really recommend when you're kind of planning your days here, really just do one theme park per day. You'll be happier and spending less of your time just traveling around the park. Now, if you do need to go between parks and you didn't bring a car, then your other option is rideshare. Uber and Lyft do pick up within Disney World, but sometimes they have like remote pickup areas. If you want the closest pickup, then you should order a minivan, M-I-N-N-I-E, minivan through Lyft, the Lyft app. You can get one of these special Disney World resort transportations and they can pick you up right at the gates and have the most convenient pickup and drop off points, though the minivans do cost more than a standard Uber or Lyft, but in that case you're paying for the convenience. And the final way you can get around Disney World if you brought your car because you drove here or you have a rental car is by driving around. Parking is plentiful, although the parking lots, particularly the theme parks, can be massive and then you have to shuttle in. You will find parking. Parking at the theme parks is $25 for regular parking or like $50 if you want the upfront parking. If you are staying at the Disney resorts on property, what you pay to park your car there, the $25, then lets you park for free. At the theme parks, you just show your resort key card and tell them what hotel you're staying at, and then they wave you on in to the theme park parking lot. I should point out though that if you're driving to Disney World and you're not staying at the resorts, then you can't park at the resorts. The resort hotel parking is only for guests of the hotels. Now, as someone who isn't staying at them, you still can check them out, but you'll need to park at one of the big theme park parking areas or the Disney Springs parking area and then take some of the either boat, bus, monorail, or gondola transportation to go check out the resorts. Oh, the one way you can park at the resorts, if you make a dining reservation for one of their sit-down restaurants, then you can park there. And yes, they do have a security guard that stands at the entrance to all of the hotel parking lots to check names and has a computer to make sure you actually have a reservation. The fifth thing to know before you go to Disney World is about where to stay. And Orlando has a lot of hotels. Disney World has a lot of hotels. In fact, there are 30 hotels on the Disneyland property, 22 of them operated by Disney themselves. And I really recommend that you stay in a Disney World hotel. Right now, I am at Disney's Beach Club Resort. And by the way, if you want to see a full review of this, you'll find a link in the description below. But let me tell you why you want to stay on property, and then I'll talk about all the different types of hotels and categories that are here. So the reason you want to stay in one of the Disney resorts is because there are a ton of perks that come with staying on property. In particular, if you're at one of the Disney resorts, you get early admission to the parks. You get to ride the resort transportation. There's a fantastic bus system, there's the gondolas. It's just really so convenient to stay on property because particularly if you're at one of the hotels where you can just walk to the theme parks, I mean, that is so much better than having to drive and pay extra for parking and then take a parking shuttle. Just being able to walk a few minutes from your hotel to your park of choice makes it a completely different experience because when you're in the middle of a hot day here in Orlando in the summer and you're like, I just can't take the heat anymore. Well, if you're staying on property, it is really easy just to come back, spend a few hours, take a load off, cool down, and maybe even a nap, and then go back into the park again for round 2 in the evening. It's quite a bit harder if you're staying off property because you gotta take the tram back to your car, drive, get there, and then you don't wanna come back to the parks at all. Now, what if you just can't pick one hotel? Then stay in 2. Consider a split stay. A neat thing about staying at Disney World is if you're moving hotels, you can take your luggage from Hotel 1 to the bell desk and tell them the next hotel you're checking into on the resort, and they will transfer your bags to that hotel for you. So in the morning, you check out a Hotel 1, you go to the theme park, you go to Hotel 2, and your bags are there waiting for you. That's a pretty nice service. My tip though is stay in the cheaper hotel first and then stay in the more expensive hotel second. Otherwise, you're gonna have some like, why did I move? Why did I move to the crappier hotel? Now, if you are gonna be staying in one of the Disney hotels, definitely check the Disney World website for deals. At the time I was here, Disney was offering 25% off for Disney Plus subscribers. So check out what they're offering when you come. Now, if you find the hotels are all too expensive, don't forget they have campgrounds here too, where you can pitch a tent or hook up an RV. Tent campgrounds start at $100 a night. RV hookups about 130. Yes, campgrounds. Yes, at Disney World. The sixth thing to know is about when to go and how long to stay. And if you want to go to avoid the crowds, then you're going to want to come in September, right after the kids go back to school, or you're going to want to come in January or February, right after the December holidays. The least best times to go, because they're going to be the busiest. July 4th in the summer, lots of crowds. That's our big Independence Day holiday in the US. The last 2 weeks of December, it's also soul-crushingly busy. Now, if you do come in the winter, fall months, September, January, February, bring some long pants, bring a jacket, because it can get cold in the evenings and in the mornings. Surprisingly, you might check the weather and be like, well, it's like 75, 78 Fahrenheit for the highs. That should be good. The nighttime lows can get down into the 40s, so you're gonna want some pants and some long sleeves. All right, now that you know when to go, how long should you stay? If it's your first time, you could easily spend a full week here in Disney World, maybe 5 days, but if you're any less than that, you're gonna feel like there's some parts that you missed, because you figure there's 4 theme parks. If you do 1 a day, well, there's not much time left there at the end. So 5 days, that'll give you time to do 4 theme parks and a water park. The 7th thing to know is about food, and with 400 places to eat in the parks, there's a lot of places where you can get your grub on. And I roughly break the food down into 3 areas that I'm gonna talk through. 1 is eating in the theme parks, 2 is eating at the resorts, and 3 is eating at Disney Springs. So starting with the theme parks, that's where you're gonna find the most expensive food and likely the least tasty food. Sure, there are some good options in theme parks, but just on average, you're gonna have long lines. It's gonna be expensive because a captive audience is there. Better food is gonna be in the resorts. So think about if you're staying in one of the resorts, coming back for dinner and eating in the resort hotels. And if you're making it over to Disney Springs, definitely save your tummy to eat over there, because there's a lot of really good food in Disney Springs. Now, as restaurants go in Disney, they kind of categorize them in a few different types. There are the quick service restaurants, which basically you order at a counter or are cafeteria style. These are my favorite just because I don't like to wait. Right now, I am at the Pop Century Resort at their food court. I got this beef with mashed potatoes and green beans for $16, pretty good. And it came with, well, it didn't come with because I bought it too, their 50th anniversary dessert. This is a raspberry almond cheesecake and a drink right here. Altogether $26, which sure, it's more expensive than what you're gonna spend at McDonald's, but it's cheaper than any of the sit-down restaurants around. And you know what, this beef, it looks pretty good. How's it taste? It's really good. And the mashed potatoes are real mashed potatoes too. So just because it's quick service doesn't mean you can't get a complete meal that also includes veggies. Now, if you are going to be eating at the resort quick serve restaurants often and you like soda, you might want to consider one of their refillable mugs, $21.99. You get to refill it for your entire stay at the quick serve self-service soda fountains. Not every place and not in the parks, just at the resorts, but you know, at $4 a pop, it can be a pretty good deal. Fill it up in the morning on your way into the park, get it as you get dinner at night, have another drink in the evening. Like, you can easily pay off that $22 or get that value within just a couple days if you're a copious soda drinker. Now, if you want to experience Disney sit-down, fine dining restaurants, you're definitely going to want to make a reservation. Reservations open 60 days in advance, and that's when you're going to want to book the reservations. They open at 5:45 a.m. Eastern Time on Disney's website. Don't wait till you get here to figure out where you're going to eat. Make some reservations. You can always cancel them later, because if you get here and then you try to figure out where to eat at many of these sit-down restaurants, you're going to find there is no availability. Now, they do have QR codes out in front that you can check if there is standby availability or try to make a reservation the day of, but the most popular restaurants, yeah, they're gonna book out 60 days ahead of time. Particularly the character dining restaurants where you get Disney characters that'll like be there with you in the restaurant. Those are a lot of fun if you've got kiddos. Now, if you're eating at some of the super high-end restaurants, do pay attention to dress codes. Yes, dress codes are enforced at some of the highest-end restaurants, including requiring collared shirts for men and dresses or blouses for women. Most of the restaurants, though, you can be a schmuck just like me and walk in with a t-shirt, no problem. Oh, hey, and you know what the last thing to know is? I've got more videos on Disney World and Orlando. You can find the link right here to my whole playlist on Disney World and Orlando, where you're gonna find walking tours of Disney Springs, a hotel review of the Disney Beach Resort, and more. As usual, I won't say goodbye because I'm gonna see you right over there.